Aren't you trying to get us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not trying to get anyone to accept anything. I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah, and I'm saying it's not possible.
Hey,
What are you trying to do?
hey, what's that?
It's the same night.
All right, quiet. Everybody be quiet.
Where did you meet it?
Right at a junk store, a couple of blocks from the boys' home. It cost $2.
Now you listen to me.
I'm listening.
You pulled a real smart trick here, but you proved absolutely zero. Maybe there are 10 knives like that, so what?
Maybe there are.
The boy lied, and you know it.
Maybe he didn't lie. Maybe he did lose the knife, and maybe he did go to the movies. And maybe the reason the cashier didn't see him was because he sneaked into the movies, and maybe he was ashamed to say so. Anyone here ever snuck into the movies when they were young a time or two?
I didn't. Not even once.
We didn't have movies. Maybe he went to the movies, maybe he didn't. And maybe he lied. Do you think he lied?
That's a stupid question. Sure he lied.
Do you?
You don't have to ask me that. You know my answer. You lied.
Do you think he lied?
I don't know.
Now, wait a second. What are you, the guy's lawyer? Look, there's still 11 of us here who think he's guilty. You're alone. What are you trying to accomplish? If you want to be stubborn and hang this jury, he'll be tried again and found guilty as sure as he's born.
You're probably right.
So what are you going to do about it? We could be here all night.
It's only one night. A man may die.
Oh, now, come on.
Yes, that's true.
I think we ought to get on with it now.
Right. Let's get going here.
How do you like this guy?
What do you say? You're the one holding up the show.
Obviously, you don't think the kid is guilty.
There's a doubt in my mind.
But you haven't really presented anything to us that makes it possible for us to understand your doubt. There's the old man downstairs. He heard it. He heard the kid shrieking out.
The woman across the L track, she saw it.
He bought a switch knife that night, and we don't know where he really was. At the movies?
And earlier that night, the kid and his dad did have a fight.
He's been violent all the way. And well, that doesn't prove anything.
Still, though.
I have a proposition to make. I want to call for another vote. I want you 11 gentlemen to vote by secret ballot. I'll abstain. If the vote is still 11 for guilty, I won't stand alone. We'll take a guilty verdict into the judge right now.
Okay, let's do it.
That sounds fair.
Very fair.
So let's roll it. Guilty. 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 Guilty.
That's 6.
Please. Yeah, that's 6 guilty. 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 Not guilty. Guilty.
How do you like that?
Who was it? I think we have a right to know.
All right, who did it? What idiot changed his vote?
Is that a way to talk about a man's life?
Whose life are we talking about? The life of the dead man or the life of a murderer?
I want to know who.
So do I.
Excuse me, but this was a secret battle.
No one will know we did it, but now I want to know.
A secret battle. We all agree on that point, no? If the man wants to keep it a secret...
What do you mean? There are no secrets in here. I know who it was. What's the matter with you? You come in here and you vote guilty, and then some slick preacher starts to tear your heart out with stories about a poor little kid who just couldn't help becoming a murderer, so you change your vote? That's a little sickening.
Now hold it!
I agree with you that the kid is guilty, but let's be fair.
Hold it! Be fair? That's just what I'm saying. We're trying to put a guilty man into the chair where he belongs, and all of a sudden we're paying attention to fairy
Now,
tales.
just a minute.
Now you listen to me.
Let's try to keep this organized, gentlemen.
It isn't organized right, let's try and stay civilized.
Excuse me, but I'd like to say something here. I always thought a man was entitled to have an unpopular opinion. That's why I came to this country. I wanted to have the right to disagree.
You disagree with us?
Well, usually I would, but in this one case, I agree with you. The point I'm trying to make is that, well, in my own country, I'm ashamed to say that
Listen, do we have to listen to the entire history of your country?
It is always wise to bear in mind what has happened in other countries where people aren't allowed to disagree. But we ask, let's stick to the subject.
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. I want to know, what made you change your vote?
Yeah, I want to know too. You haven't told us yet.
Why do you think I did change my vote?
Because I do. Now get on with it.
There's nothing for this man to tell you. He didn't change his vote. I did.
See, I'm trying to tell you, but you're so sure of yourself.
Sorry.
Maybe you'd like to know why.
Let me tell you why this kid
The man wants to talk. Thank you. This gentleman chose not to stand alone against us. That's his right. It takes a lot of courage for a man to stand alone, even though if he believes in something very strongly. He left the verdict up to us. He gambled for support, and I gave it to him. I want to know more. The vote's 10-2.
Fine, the speech is over, can we go on?
If there were anything in the kid's favor, I'd vote him not guilty.
I don't see what it is.
Neither do I. They're clutching at straws.
Guilty as they get, that's the boy, I suppose.
It's that one juror who's holding up. But he'll come around. He's got to. Fundamentally, he's a very reasonable man.
I guess so.
I haven't come up with one real fact yet to back up not guilty.
It's hard, you know.
Yes, it is. And what does guilty beyond a reasonable doubt really mean?
What's a reasonable doubt?
Exactly. When a life is at stake, what is a reasonable doubt? You've got to have law and order. You've got to draw the line somewhere. If you don't, everyone will start a knife again.
Not much doubt here.
Two men think so. I wonder why. I really wonder why.
You do hear stories of innocent men who've gone to jail or death sometimes.
And years later, things turn up.
Men, on the other hand, some killers get turned loose, go and do it again. They squeeze out on some technicality, they do it again.
Hey, look, buddy, now that we've kind of cooled off, I was a little excited a few minutes ago, you know how it is. I didn't mean to get nasty. It's nothing personal. Okay.
Listen, supposing you answer me this. If the kid didn't kill him, who did?
Well, as far as I know, we only need to determine whether the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with other people's motives.
I suppose. But who else had a motive?
His father was along in the years, maybe an old grudge.
Remember, it's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This is very important to remember.
Oh, everyone's a lawyer. Supposing you explain to us what your reasonable doubts are.
Oh, it's very, very difficult. Right now, it's just a feeling I have. A feeling. I suppose you don't understand.
No, I don't.
A feeling. What are we supposed to sit around all night talking about your feelings? What about the facts?
You said a mouthful. Look, the old man heard the kid yell, "I'm gonna kill you." A second later, he heard the father's body falling, and then he saw him running out of the house 15 seconds after that.
Yeah, where's the reasonable doubt in that?
That's right. Let's not forget about the woman across the street. She looked through the open window and saw the boy stab his father. She saw it.
No, that's not enough for you.
Well, it's not enough for me.
What is enough for you, I'd like to know.
What do you like this guy? It's like talking to a dead phone.
The woman saw the killing through the window
say about that?
I don't know. Something doesn't seem right.
Well, supposing you think about it, here. Pets, let's play some tic-tac-toe. We might as well pass the time.
This isn't a game.
Now, wait a minute!
This is a man's
Who do
life.
you think you are?
All right, let's take it easy.
I got a good mind to walk around this table and belt him one.
Please, I don't want any fights in
See
here.
the nerve, the absolute nerve.
Take it easy. It doesn't
Calm
mean
down. This isn't a game. Who does he think he is?
Weren't we talking about elevated train?
Yes, we were.
So,
All right. How long does it take an elevated train going at top speed to pass a given point?
what does that have to do with anything?
How long would it take? Guess.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Neither would I.
What do you think? About 10 or 12 seconds, maybe? That sounds like a fair guess. Anyone else?
We didn't discuss it.
I think perhaps 10 seconds.
10 seconds, yes.
All right, we're agreed. 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
It takes 10 seconds for an elevated train to pass a given point. That given point is the window in the room in which the killing took place. You can almost reach out of that window and touch the L tracks. Am I right?
That's right, I tried it.
Now, let me ask you this. Has anyone here ever lived close to the L track?
I live near.
They make a lot of noise, don't they? I live right by the L tracks. When the window's open and a train goes by, it's almost unbearable, the noise. You can't hear yourself think.
Okay, you can't hear yourself think. Get to the point.
The old man heard the boy say,
He
I'm gonna
didn't
kill...
say it. He screamed it.
The old man downstairs heard the boy scream, I'm gonna kill you. And 1 second later, heard the body fall. That's a testimony, right?
Right?
And the woman across the street, she said she looked through the windows of the last 2 cars of the L train and saw the murder, right?
Right.
So?
The last 2 cars. The last 2 cars.
What are you giving us here?
An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point, or 2 seconds per car. That L train had to be going by the old man's window for 6 seconds, maybe more, before the body fell, according to the woman. The old man would have had to hear the boy say, I'm going to kill you. And the front of that L train was roaring past his nose. He couldn't have heard it.
What do you mean? Sure he could have heard it.
With an L train passing by?
Well, he said the boy yelled it out.
An L train makes a lot of noise.
It's enough for me.
It's enough for me, too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. I mean, with the L noise.
What are you people talking about? Are you calling the old man a liar?
Let me ask you this.
You're crazy. Why would he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe?
You keep coming up with these bright sayings. I just sent one into a newspaper. They paid $2.
What's that got to do with a man's life? Tell us why he made it one. You've got a right to be heard.
I watched him for a very long time. The seam in his jacket was split under the arm. Did any of you notice this? No. This is a very old man with a torn jacket, and he carried 2 canes. I think I know him better than anyone else. This is a quiet, frightened, insignificant man who's never had recognition, his name in the newspapers. Nobody knows him after 75 years. This is a very sad situation. A man like this needs to be recognized and questioned and listened to and quoted just once. That's very important.
You're trying to tell us he lied about a thing like this just so he could be important?
No. He didn't think he was lying, but perhaps he made himself believe that he heard those words and recognized the boy's face.
Now that's the most fantastic story I ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that?
I didn't make it up.
You must be making it up. People don't lie about things like that.
He didn't believe he was telling a lie.
What do you know about it?
I know from experience.
What?
I am the same man.
I think we all understand now. Thank you.
If you want to admit you're a liar, it's all right by me.
Hey, now that's too much.
Boy, he's lying. You just told us
He
so.
didn't say he was a liar, he was explaining.
Didn't you just admit you're a liar?
He was explaining to us the circumstances so that we could understand why the old man might have lied. There's a difference.
Oh, a liar's a liar. That's all there is to it.
Please, have some compassion.
Gentlemen, we have our job and our duty here.
I think they have covered it.
I hope we have.
Anything else?
Cough drop?
No, thank you.
Does anybody want a cough drop?
Can we get on with it?
I'll take one. Thank you. Now, there's one more point I'd like to make. I think we've proven that the old man couldn't have heard the boy say, "I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah, I disagree.
But supposing he had heard it. That phrase. How many times have each of you said that before? Hundreds, probably. We say it all the time. But, Junior, if you do that again, I'm going to murder you. Come on, Rocky, kill him. We say it every day. We don't really mean we're going to kill someone.
Don't the circumstances alter that somewhat?
The old man was murdered.
And one more thing. The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you," and the kid screamed it at the top of his lungs.
That's how I understand it.
No, don't try to tell me he didn't mean it. Anybody says something like that the way he said it, they mean it.
And how they mean it.
You think the boy would have screamed out something like that for the whole neighborhood to hear? He's much too bright for that.
Right? He's a common ignorant slob. You don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak English.
The boy is clever enough.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
The vote is now 9-3 in favor of guilty.
I think there's a doubt.
Where? What is the doubt?
There's the knife.
Oh, fine.
He's got you believing fairy tales.
And the old man, too. Maybe he didn't lie, but then again, maybe he did. Maybe he doesn't like the kid.
That isn't the end.
There is a reasonable doubt.
What are you basing it on? Stories this guy made up? He ought to work for the Amazing Detective Monthly. He'd make a fortune. Listen, the kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't the lawyer bring up all these points?
Lawyers can't think of everything.
Oh, brother, you sit in here and pull stories out of the thin air. Now we're supposed to believe that the old man didn't get out of bed, run to the door, and see the kid beat it down the stairs 15 seconds after the killing?
That's the testimony, I believe.
And the old man swore to this. Yes, he swore to it, only so it could be important.
The old man said he ran to the door.
Ran, walked, what's the difference? He got there.
I don't remember what he said. I don't see how he could run.
He said he went. I remember it now. He went from his bedroom to the front door. Isn't that enough?
Where was the bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere.
Down the hall. You just send the boy off to die because it's down the hall somewhere?
I thought you remember everything. Don't you remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see a diagram of the apartment.
Why don't we have him run the whole trial over again just so you can get it straight?
The bedroom is down the hall somewhere. Do you know exactly where it is? Do you know? The man's life is at stake. Do you know? Mr. Foreman.
I heard you.
All right, what's this one for? How come you're the only one in the room who wants to see exhibits all the time? I want to see this one too.
So do
And
I.
I want to stop wasting time.
We're not going to start wading through all that nonsense about where the body was found.
No, we're going to find out how an old man who's had 2 strokes in the last 3 years and walks with a pair of canes Get to the front door of the apartment in 15 seconds.
Oh, he said 20 seconds. He said 15. Oh, how does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge that kind of thing.
He said 15. He was very positive.
Oh, he's an
about it.
old man. You saw that half the time he was